Okay, guys, quick update for Bitcoin. So listen, as you saw in the thumbnail, Bitcoin flipped bullish, but we're not out of the woods yet, guys. We have one more hurdle to get above, and that's around 25,000. And I'm going to show you why this chart shows me that potentially we are bullish for upside, but again, we still have to get above a certain point. And also, I'm going to show you the bigger picture, which you need to pay attention to. And next week, I think is going to be very important. So I'm going to cover all of this. So there's three types of people that watch my videos. Either you're a trader that makes money on the way up and the way down, which is what I do, or you're not in Bitcoin, you're trying to find out if you should get in, or you're already in and you're trying to find out if you stay in or if you should get out. And I'm getting emails from people, and these emotional basket cases. Where's your crash, you stupid shit? What a crash, you idiot. You were so wrecked, but also people leave you. You stink. And this other person, stupid short wrecked optical, fucking stupid wrecked scammer. So these people are so emotional. I guess if you say something is bad about Bitcoin or crash, they flip out. And this person's saying I was wrecked. Well, guys, I've been talking about this M1 chart, and if you do sign up, get access to these charts, and you can access these live charts on websites, pin first comment description. You can use just this one chart is all you need, and I'm going to show you the bigger picture for this chart. But this chart, I told you when this was potentially a temporary bottom around 17,000, 18,000. Every time it came down, we found support and pushed up. And I've been telling you this line is very important. Every time we push up, we get rejected. We got rejected 23,875, 24,347. I'm going to talk about this line right here. This is a very important line. And this line right here, notice we got rejected 25,000. Well, people, that guy, the people saying, wrecked, you calling for a crash? Well, guys, I didn't get wrecked. This was August 12th. I was in profit in my short. I used $4,000 and made $6,000. All right, so that was $12,000. I could have cashed out with that $6,000. I didn't. I stayed in my short. And I did get stopped out, but I didn't lose anything. I think I made like $300 because my stop was below where I entered. And I'll explain why I stayed in. This person right here, they shorted where I did, right at 24,735. My entry was 24,800. He got it below me, but he made $38,000 on that trade. And right here on this M1 chart, this was your next point to short, 25,000 right here. That's that same line I've been talking about that's been our resistance. And if I go all the way down here, this person shorted 25,000. They made $14,119. So again, I don't get wrecked. These people don't get wrecked. You practice risk management. You get a good entry. You're in your short. You set your stop just below where you entered. Or if you long, you get in your long. You set your stop above where you entered. So if it pushes up, you make money. If it drops back down, you break even, or you just make a little bit. But we don't get wrecked because we're trading. We're trading the charts. And right now, I can tell you this chart. Every time we hit this line, let me show you this chart right here, okay? So this is this chart, and guys, I have a video where I showed you how I was able to find all of these tops, and where I was able to call this top here, where I was able to call this top here, and this top here. If you want to go back and watch that video, I'll put a link up to it now. This explains how these charts work. And I'm going to show you if we do push up, I already know the next point to put in a short. So again, if you sign up, the M1 chart is the only chart you really need. All right, this is the macro. This chart's for macro targets. But let me go back and just explain. So this chart right here, so the M1 chart, every time we've hit this line, this is where we got rejected. All right, and I'm going to show you that. I'm going to zoom out, but I just want to show you my short. So I entered up here around 24,800 because I knew this line is where we get rejected. So my trade at the highest point was around $8,000 in profit. Now I could have taken my profit, for some $8,000 is a lot of money. I could have cashed out, but to me it was worth it because of this line. If we stayed below this line, the probability was higher that we would drop down to support. And that $8,000 would have turned into $24,000. So that's why I stayed in my short. I didn't lose any money, but I missed out on $8,000. That was my choice. But I also said, guys, and I keep you updated on Twitter, this is 15 hours ago. But if you sign up to the charts, get access to our Discord and Twitter. I said, look, next daily candle open in less than 3 hours. Going by the line on the M1 chart, open above 24,300 would be bullish, below would be bearish. And that's what I was showing you, this line right here. If the next candle opens below this point, we have a lot of downside. If it opens above it, you have upside, and this is your target right here. And then what happened? daily candle opened above, so chart is showing bullish. So, you know, I'm not always bearish. If the chart shows it as bullish, I'm bullish. If the chart shows it as bearish, I'm bearish. But it opened above. Your target was 25,000, and that's what happened. We pushed up and we hit $25,000. So again, before I can get bullish, we have to get above and hold support above 25,087, potentially 25,174. When price pushes above that point and holds support, I am bullish for more upside, all right? At least on the M1 chart, okay? If we get back below this point, we could have some more downside. But you can clearly see this line, every time we hit it, resistance, resistance, resistance. These were a lot of, I mean, these were fantastic shorts. This is another good short. But again, if we get above 25,124 and hold support, we have a lot more upside. Just breaking above this point is bullish. That's why I made that tweet. This, again, this is the published version of this chart, and I'm trying to make you understand why it looks like it could be bullish if we get above 25,000. So again, these are the points I call the top here, right? This actually was an orange ring in the previous video, but I did cover that, the one I linked earlier. That's how I call the top here. I call the top here with this line on this chart, and based on this chart, I knew that when we hit this point, this would be point too short. You can see how this played out. But you can also see what happens. Guys, resistance will break. Support levels will break. While this was resistance, when we broke above it, right? When this resistance broke, we pushed up to the next line, right? It was resistance. We broke down. As soon as we broke above it, we pushed up to the next line, resistance. Once we broke it, we pushed up to the next line, right? We rode down this one, we broke above this, and we pushed up to the next one, right? And then we came down, we found support. Now we're testing this line right now. That's why this is so key. If we get above and hold support, well, we know our next upside target is this line right here. When you make contact, this is where you would short. If we get rejected and come back below, well, we have some more downside. That is the beauty of this chart, and that's what I'm trying to show you. So if we do get above, and that's what I'm saying, this, and I've talked about this line, go back and watch my previous videos for the past month. I've talked about this line would be resistance, and every time we hit it, we get rejected, but we end up pushing higher. So people like that asshole that sent me emails, wrecked. Well, no, guys, every time we hit it, we did get rejected. 23,900. 24,260. Those are fantastic shorts. We hit it again. This is where I was up under almost $8,000, but didn't get out of my short. So we know that if we get above 25,000 and hold support, that means we're breaking above a key resistance level that goes back since the beginning of Bitcoin. And we just broke above this that's been resistance since back on the 28th of March. So if we get above, we're already above this right now, which is bullish. So if we get above this point, that is even more bullish. That means your upside target is right here. Whenever you make contact. Now, it's pointless giving you a price because I don't know when we'll make contact. I just know that when you do make contact, that's where you go in a short. And the same thing, guys. So let's say it's bullish and we do something like this, right? And we come up and we hit this point. Okay, well, if we get rejected, you know, I'm pretty sure we will. It happens every other time. So we get rejected, right? At any point you break above this, the same thing. You push up to the next line. That's where you would short. So that's what I'm saying. This one chart is the only chart you need if you're patient. Long-term trades, you know, macro targets, your point's too short. If you wait it out, when you hit this line, you go in a short. When you hit this line, you go in a short. When you break above it and hold support, you long. It's that simple. That is the point of this M1 chart. If you've used this M1 chart and you've made money with it, comment below. I'd love to hear what you have to say. So let's move on. Okay, so this is just showing you right now. If we get above 25,000 and hold support, guys, yes, I'm bullish. I'm bullish for much more upside, at least up until we make contact with this point. But I want to show you the bigger picture, right? It's not just Bitcoin, all right? Bitcoin follows the markets. You have to pay attention to the bigger picture. So this is another bullish chart, just like I showed you this chart. If we get above 25,000, all right, this line right here is our current resistance. Once you get above 25,150 and hold support, guys, we are bullish up to at least wherever we make contact with this point. So this chart is bullish. This is another chart that is bullish. This is how I was able to find the point to short. It was in confluence with the M1 chart to short around 24,484. Well, if you'll notice all these yellow arrows, this white flip circle right here, all right, we hold support and we hit it as resistance. This was support. The red arrows are resistance, yellow arrows are support. You can see how well respected this flip circle. Support right here, support right here, support right here, support, support, support. We dropped down, hit this as support, pushed up as resistance. Then we came back down, we pushed up, this was resistance. So we're above this point, guys. So this chart is showing that we're bullish, all right? So, you know, came down to support, resistance, pushed up as resistance. So that's what I'm saying. If we come back down, we can hold support at around 24,000. If we push up, your next upside target to watch for a rejection is around 30,000. If you push above that, your next target upside target is around 34,433. So again, I'm showing you what to pay attention to know if we're bullish or bearish. Right now, the charts show that we're bullish, but we have to get above 25,000 and hold support before you can expect more upside. Now, that's just Bitcoin alone, just going by the Bitcoin charts. There's other things you need to keep in mind that you need to pay attention to. So I'm going to show you an oil chart that I have. It's under my stock section. It says an increase in oil prices usually lowers the expected rate of economic growth and increases inflation expectations over the horizons. Decreasing economic growth prospects, in turn, lower company earnings expectations, resulting in dampening effect on the stock market. So basically, if oil prices go up high, that can be bad for the stock market. Well, I want to show you this chart. This is a chart I created. This was on. This is back in 2020. I created this chart. This is oil. This is West Texas oil. Notice this yellow line right here has been support and resistance. We found support. We pushed up to this ring. Every time we hit this ring, I have it on line drawing so it's easier to see, but we actually do make contact with this ring when you see the wicks. But notice we hit this ring, we moved down it, right? As soon as we crossed the ring, we pushed up, all right? Same thing, we came over here, we found support, right? We hit the ring, we moved down the ring. This line right here is our resistance. Every time you hit the ring, you move down, we find support, right? Well, the same thing over here. Look, we come up, we hit the ring, we get rejected, and we're coming down to support. So two things are going to happen, right? We're either going to break down below the support level, right? Which would be, I guess, good for the stock market. That means the stock market might push up. I guess depends on how you look at it. But, you know, based on what I just showed you, if the stock market, or if oil starts pushing up, that could be bearish because it's more expensive. The more it costs to ship goods and, you know, for trains and planes, it's going to get passed on the consumer. It's going to be bad for inflation. So it's very possible, and I'm just showing you, look, we hit it, you get rejected, you cross it, you push up. You hit it, you get rejected, you cross it, you push up. You hit it, you get rejected, you cross it, you push up. So it's very possible, come the 27th of October, the price of oil is going to be $134 a barrel. That's just what the chart shows, guys. I'm just showing you. You hit the ring, you get rejected, you find support. You hit the ring, you get rejected, you find support. So it just makes sense, based on this chart, pretty soon oil is going to get a pump up to potentially $135, and then it will come down. And the same thing, do we break it and drop, or cross the ring like the previous 4 times and push up? So again, just showing you how these charts work and how Fib circles can help predict what price will do way in advance. The Dow Jones. So when I'm showing you the bigger picture, you need to understand you cannot just chart Bitcoin alone and say, oh, BlackRock's going to get involved in Bitcoin and Ethereum 2.0 is coming out and all this bullish stuff. It does not matter because Bitcoin is a risk-on asset. If the stock market comes down, Bitcoin comes down. That's just how it is. We know this. You can compare Bitcoin with the NASDAQ and it's almost identical. So this is the Dow Jones in 2008 when it had a financial crisis. This is the Dow Jones currently, all right? And all I want to point out, and this is the bigger picture, this is what I'm saying, it could get bad. If we get above 25K and hold support, maybe the bottom's in, maybe we go higher. Maybe the stock market goes higher. But I would just like to point out, all right, this was 2008. This was our peak right here. This is our peak in 2008, around 14,163, all right? Notice right here, there's 4 bars. This is on the weekly, but just measuring the time, all right? So from the peak to our first top of the peak was 203 days to where we dropped was 224 days. All right, well, let's come over to present time. So from our peak, currently, that's 217 days, all right? Let me put this in the foreground so you can see it. 224, so if we just go sideways for a bit, 224, well, all right, so 224, that'd be the next candle. So I'm just showing you, this right here was a bear market rally in 2028. And how much did we push up? Let's see, let me measure percentage. So when we dropped, right, we pushed up, when we bottomed right here, we pushed up a total of 12%. Well, if this is nothing more than a bear market rally, well, how much did we push up here? We pushed up a total of, so far we pushed up 13.78%. So that's pretty much on par. The time frame from where we peaked in 2008 to where we bottomed, right, up to the peak, right, that's pretty much on par, back in 2008 is on par with what's going on right now. So if we do not get above this point, and this is nothing more than a bear market rally, and the markets start coming down, Bitcoin's going to come down as well. So that's why the next couple weeks are going to be very key. If you start seeing the stock market go sideways, Bitcoin's probably going to stay underneath this point right here at 25K. At any point you get above this, we're flipping bullish. But as long as we're below this, I would remain bearish. If we're below 25K, I would remain bearish, potentially be in your short. If we get above and hold support, guys, get bullish up to that target I gave you, that next horizontal line. Again, and this is another chart I'm going to show you as well, but I'm just showing you the correlation between present day with the Dow Jones and what happened with the financial crisis. We have this 13.78% pump from from where we bottom. This is back in 2008, it was a 12.13% pump. So if we continue higher, hold support and go higher, guys, we're bullish. But it could play out like 2008. You got to look at the global economy. Things are bad in China. We have all of this stuff going on, supply chain issues. You've got inflation that's out of control. They're raising interest rates. There's so much stuff going on that gives you reason to be bearish. And comparing 2022 to 2008, it looks like it could play out the same. And again, if that happens, that would be very bad for Bitcoin. This is another chart, guys, and I bring out rings because rings help you find tops and bottoms. This fib circle, the green price labels are points we bottomed on the ring, like 23,517. We bottomed here, 24,106. But notice these red price labels. Notice we topped out here, topped out here, topped out here. We hit this ring, we topped out and had a drop. Well, look at this ring up here. We topped out, almost, we pushed above it a bit, but rings are kind of markers for reversal points. We hit this point. This was the top, right? The absolute top for the Dow Jones around 36,200. Notice we came down and found support on this ring, right? 30,563. Well, it just showed you that it's possible if this is a bear market rally, we're pretty much close to the top before a drop. Either this is a bear market rally and we come down, or we hold support and we go higher, and then everything is bottomed and we're off to the moon, the bull run that started. But this chart shows me, and that's why I'm saying be patient, wait till the next week or the next couple weeks and see what happens. This could be a point where we get rejected. And I want to show you the published version of this chart. This is the chart I was predicting that we would have a crash before COVID, or at least down to this point right here. I published this chart on January 7th, 2020, the Dow Jones. I was looking, when I created this chart, notice every time we cross one of these white rings, we get a major drop below resistance. If I hit play, you'll see what happened. We had a major crash. We bottomed down on this ring. But what I want to show you, I'm going to zoom out because this is an old chart. It's gone on for quite a while. I just want to show you right here. I gotta find out where it's at. I think this is the ring right here. So this ring right here, where we topped out at 36,254, we came down, held support at 30,500, and we're right at this ring again where we could potentially get rejected. And I just want to show you when I hit play, look what happens. So you can see this ring has been here for years. All right. I mean, I didn't place that ring there after the fact. You can see we topped out. Rejected, 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 came down, found support. We're at this ring now. This could be a potential top for the indices. If that happens, guys, we have a lot more downside for Bitcoin. Regardless of BlackRock and all of these YouTubers putting out the stuff, it's bullish because of this and bullish because of that. It does not matter. If the stock market comes down, Bitcoin comes down with the stock market. This is the 10-year treasury. I have this chart under stocks as well. I just want to show you the correlation or the inverse correlation. Notice when the treasury, right? Right here in, let's see, this is the S&P right here in orange, and this is the 10-year yield. Well, notice what happened. The 10-year yield bottomed, right? It pushed up. What happened right here? It bottomed, started pushing up. You can see the S&P started coming down, right? Same thing over here. The 10-year treasury yield bottom, started pushing up. What happened? You can see the S&P started coming down. We had a crash. Same thing over here, and look at this. This is since 2009. Look, the 10-year Treasury yield. Look, it's been coming down ever since, right? It's been coming down, and look, we're almost at support. I charted this. You can see this was resistance, resistance, support, 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 and we're coming down on 2 points of support. And that right there, where I have this vertical line, is the 19th of September. So if the S&P's been pushing up this whole time, right? While this the 10-year Treasury yield has been going down, well, if it finds support down here and pushes up, you're showing the correlation back here and here, what do you think is going to happen? I just showed you two charts, comparing 2022, 2008 with the Dow Jones, all right? And I showed you a ring on this chart right here that potentially we could top out. Well, if the Treasury holds support and pushes up, what do you think is going to happen to the stock market? That's what I'm saying. We could have a lot of downside, and that would be bearish for Bitcoin. That's what I'm saying. Look at the bigger picture, guys. Don't just look at Bitcoin alone. This is another chart I put together a while back. I made a video about this, and I actually showed you how I created this chart. But you'll notice, and let me make this, I guess, yellow. You can still see it. But I want to point out, every time we bottom, right, and I've covered this before, this support level right here, right, we always bottom on that same support level, all right? And if you'll notice, typically January, December is December, January, and February is typically very bearish for Bitcoin, all right? But notice this support, right? Support, support, we bottomed on that same point. That happened back in 2013, 2015. It happened again right here. And all these lines are parallel, just to show you. This line right here is completely parallel to this line here. It's the exact same trajectory. And if you notice right here, when we peaked up here around, 19,500, close to 20,000, same thing. This support, we bottomed on that same line. And take note, this right here was around, this was December. This was November, December. And again, a very bearish month for Bitcoin. You can see this line. This is when we had our COVID crash right here. You notice this is, again, all these are parallel, just so you can see. We always bottom on that same line. Support, support, support. We bottomed on that same line and pushed up. So if it happened the previous 3 times, who's to say it can't happen again? So if this is a bear market rally and we have more downside, well, based on this chart, and again, completely parallel, completely matches. I have a fib channel line based on the fib channel lines to the left. This is our support, all right? So it makes sense. I have a lot of damn confluence right here. This is this horizontal red line is a lot of support. There's a lot of support and resistance right here. It's a very strong support level. We have this fib circle that I used to call the top up here. We rode up this ring. As soon as we broke it, we dropped. The next ring below is right here. If we hit this ring just below, this would be a double bottom, all right? If the bottom's in and we go higher, then maybe come back, retest this, and then we're off to the moon. But if this is a bear market rally, look at all this confluence. You got this blue ring here, right? You got this horizontal line. This is our strongest support and resistance level. And just like I showed you on the previous bear markets, we always bottom on the same support level. This is our support. So if we bottom, you're looking at potentially coming down to, $7,500. And again, this right here, this is between November and December. I'm just showing you what's in the charts. If the stock market continues up, if we bottomed, then the bottom for Bitcoin is in. But if this is a bear market rally, guys, we can be looking at a lot of downside. And keep in mind, I've showed you this before. When we peaked, right? This was in 2013, 2015. When we dropped, we had about an 87% drop. All right. When we peaked in 2017, we had a drop that was around 84%. When we pushed up to, I think it was 14,000, and we dropped about 72%. If we drop from our all-time high, let me highlight this so I can grab it. Right here, if we come down just 86% or 87% to be on par with how much we dropped in 2013, 2015, that brings you down to around $9,000. Well, a 90% drop brings you, actually an 89% drop brings you right down to $7,500. So again, what I'm saying is, this is my target. If this is a bear market rally, right? If the stock market next week or the week after starts to drop and has a major drop, and it's similar to what happened in 2008, your target is going to be, you know, pretty much December 2022. Yeah, this is December. So yeah, if it gets really bad, your target is around 7,500 in December. So either the bottom's in and we continue up, but again, that's what I'm trying to show you. That's why this chart is so important. If we stay below this line, all right, and we have a bear market rally, Bitcoin's going lower. If the stock market continues up and we get above 25,136 and hold support, well, guys, you know the next point to go in the short, it's right up here. And again, I just showed you, if you get above this point, then you know your next point to short is going to be over here. It's already mapped out. Your current support and resistance levels, guys. So, you know, we talked about 25K. You know, this is your current resistance right now, 24,605. You push up, that'd be an ideal point to put in a short. This is your next support level, 24,118. We come down to that point, that'd be where you want to scalp along. If we break that, your next support level down here is 22,428. If you push above 24,600, well, your next resistance above is going to be around 25,059. Just really quick, guys, so just to zoom out and show you, I'm going to give you key support and resistance levels. If we do drop, my previous video I was showing you looked like we were possibly in a head and shoulders pattern. If we broke down, I gave you your support levels. That did not play out. Sometimes patterns don't play out, guys. But your next major support, if we have a drop, is around 22,844. That'd be a point to scalp along up to 23,790. If we get back below this point, guys, this is bearish. If we're back below this line, that will be bearish. And if we do come down, I'm telling you, that's what I was hoping for, that my short would come all the way down to this point and I would cash out at 24K. The next strongest support is 20,968. Once this support level breaks, guys, we're coming way the hell down. So again, I'm just showing you the key points on the chart. 20,968 is your next key support level. Once that breaks, we have a lot more downside. If we hold above 25,136, guys, that is bullish if the stock market continues up, all right? But as long as we are below this point, until we see the stock market go higher, I remain bearish below this point. This does show, because we broke above this line, that is bullish, but we still have to get above 25,136. Guys, if you want to get into leverage trading, I use BitGet, love the platform. My affiliate link's pinned down first comment description. If you deposit up to a certain amount, you can get 4,163. But guys, a lot of these YouTubers are saying, oh, get your free money. You have to deposit a lot of money to get this, all right? So they're trying to trick you. But you can get up to $4,160 to trade for free if you deposit enough money. But again, if you want to use it, that's what we do, guys. We find points for the perfect entry for a long, for a short. You set a stop loss, you protect yourself, the risk to reward, there's more risk versus reward. We don't get wrecked, and I never tell you to enter a trade without a stop loss. If you do want to access these charts, guys, the website's altcrypto.com, link will be pinned in the first comment description. I do have stocks, some of that I just showed you. I have tutorials teaching my method of charting, how I create these charts. And for $49 a month, get access to Bitcoin charts, altcoin charts, Discord, and Twitter. But guys, that's pretty much it. I know I repeated myself a lot. I just want to make it very clear. If we get above 25,130, around that area, and hold support, I am bullish up to that line I showed you on this M1 chart. If we break back below 24,249, then we are still bearish. We have a lot more downside. And pay attention to the stock market, guys. Do not live in your own little bubble thinking that Bitcoin is going its own merry way, because it follows the stock market. That's why next week and the week after is going to be very critical. Well, that's it, guys. Trade safe, trade smart. I'm out.